So, hello guys. So, we want to build a React app, and that is a weather app. Let's see. This is the weather app. Is the one of the game challenges, Squid Game for developers. But we want to focus on this React part, which says the front end React challenge. So build a weather app. So what we have to do in this app is to build all this. So we need a card, and then in the card it has some static data. Then what the card is going to do is that when we type in a number and we hit convert, it's going to convert the number from Fahrenheit to Celsius and get it displayed here. So I'm working on this with my friend Vitalis. Hi Vitalis. Yeah. And uh yeah, yeah. So I'm going to work on this first part, that is building and setting up the functionality, and then Vitalis will also work on the part where we have to um, yeah, use an API to get the temperature in any city. So we are going to work on that part. So that is the project we are working on. All right. So at the moment we have the resources, everything set up for us. This is how everything looks like. I think I'll reduce this, then we see. Yeah, this is how it looks like. So we can start work. So the I think I would like to move this here and then focus on this side. So all right, so we have the source files. Every some data has been given us already. This is just styling for the header, as we saw. This is just styling for this header, as we see in here. And then we have app.js, where we are going to have the card component, and then this app.js is being imported to index.js. All right, so the first thing we have to do is to set up our card for this. So I'll go over here and then I'll create a card. So we call it card.js. Okay, so we are in card.js, and I'll just say import react from react. Sorry, and then let's create a function, and then we call this function card. Let's call it card, and then in card, so we'll just do a return, and in the return I just want to see if we can display everything in our card. So we have a div, and in this div let me just have an h1, I call it card, just to see if everything is working fine. Then we export a default card. Okay, I think this is fine. Then we go to app.js. Then the first thing we like to do is to import card. So when we import card, then we render the card here in app.js, just to see that our card is being displayed in our browser. So I'll save this one, and let's go to our browser and see. Okay, so we have card written here, but because the styling is in dark, that is why we don't see it. So I'll just briefly style it so that we can see it clearly. I'll do all the styling in style.css. So let me just give it an attribute. Okay, so this is h1. So class name, then let's call this card container. So we have card container, then style.css, I come here and do card container. Then for card container, yeah, just let's just use white for the color, just so that we can see everything. So yes, now we see card written here. It means our component is visible now. So what we would like to do now is to create the structure for this. So for the structure, I'll just come back here, and then we'll follow this pattern and see if we can create a basic structure of this. We'll create the structure first, after which we can do some styling. So I'll just go back to the app.js, no, car.js, sorry, and then we have a div that is the container. So I want the container to be for everything, and I'm going to use two divs, so one for the static data, another div for this one, then another div for this last part. So I'm going to put three divs in my div container. All right, so let's start with that. That is just my choice. Class name, then card header. So we call this card header. Then in card header we have Monday and we have 12 p.m. This is static data, so we use I can it's like a header, so I'll just use an h3. I'll say Monday, and then the next one, it looks small. I prefer to use a span for that. I'll use span 12 p.m. Okay, so we have that displayed for the card header. Then I'll create another div for this display of Celsius. So I'll call it div class name. We call this one card display. So for card display, we just, let's say, we have a span, and then we have the static data. So let me just put that. Okay, so what's going to happen is I see that here we have this display of the 30 degrees Celsius, but we also have this icon, and we expect this icon to be changing and all that. So we can make everything simpler, put everything in a paragraph. It shouldn't be so complicated. We can just do this. At the moment, let me just put static data. Let me just call it 30 degrees Celsius. I mean, I will get the degrees and everything later, but let me just create the static data first. Then yeah, okay, Vitalis, you want to say something, right? Yeah. Yeah, 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 this one. Okay. Okay. Oh, in the files they shared. Oh, header. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we in the files they provided, we have them. Okay. Yes, we'll install them and use them, so shouldn't be a problem. Okay. All right. And then let's go ahead. We have an input. I'm not going to use a form because we don't need to submit or do anything. I'm just going to use an input and then a button. So I'll create another div. I'll call this div card input. Okay, simple like that. Then we have an input, the type. The type, what do you suggest? We do number or we do text? Yeah, number is appropriate. Then placeholder, it has a placeholder called enter Fahrenheit value to convert to Celsius. So enter Fahrenheit value to convert to Celsius. Okay, right. Then we'll come back to the inputs later, but let's just create this first. Then we have a button, class name, card button, and then for this button it has the name what, convert. So we have convert. All right, so we have all this. Let us see what is being displayed in our browser. So we have our Monday, we have the 2 p.m. and we have the 30 Celsius being displayed here. All right, so I want to see if I can, put everything in the middle of the page. So let me just check on app.js. We have a class name called container. Okay, and then here we have okay, so this is the CSS for the header, and this one is the main CSS that we are using. So I just want to target, let me see, so if we target container, and we also create a utility. I just want to call this flex at the moment. Then I just set display to flex, and then let me come here. I'll simply change this one to container. Okay, then here so I'll add flex to this. Then here we flex direction, because I want everything to be in a column, not horizontal. And yeah, then justify content, center, align items, center. Let's see what we have. Okay, so I just wanted to get these ones, but yeah, it's affected the top, but we can just work on that later. Okay, so I just wanted to get everything from here to the center so that at least we can see what's happening on the page. Okay, let me just add a margin top to this one. Imagine top of about 5 rem, just to push it down a bit. Okay, so we have this. I'll go back to the card and then we work on the logic and the functionality, what we need to do now. So before I style anything, I just want to make sure, well, everything is working fine. Yeah, you type in the number, you hit convert, and everything works. So let's go back to the instructions. Over here it says we need to be able to type in a number. So the first thing we have to remember is to be able to type in a number and then store the value of that number. So that is the first thing I would like us to do. And so with that, we can come to card. We have an input here, and just to make everything visible, I'll move to a different line, and then on this line, um, we will have a value for it. So a value, but before I even put a value, we want to be able to control whatever we are typing inside this input. So the best thing to do in React is to control it with state. So I'll import useState from React like this. So we have useState, so we can use useState, and then the way we use useState is we call constant, and then we can have it takes two parameters, useState. So this is card input, so I can just call it input, and then this will be set input. So the set input is what's going to change the input, and then we call useState. So when this page renders, what do we want displayed? Now we have the static value of 30, so we can just put a value of 30 as the state when this page loads. And instead of putting 30 here in my paragraph, I can just have the value of input here as 30. So input here, let's see if that works, and the value for this one will be input, just like this. So let me just save this. Let's see, we have some warnings, but it's because yeah, so we are seeing 30 here, just like we wanted to. All right, so now that we have 30, what we want to happen is that when we type, we are going to use an event listener called onChange, so that as we are typing, we will be able to save whatever we are typing into the set input. So the way to go about this is we use an anonymous function and then an arrow function, then we call the set input function, set input. Then this set input is going to be the value of whatever we are typing, which is the target. So it's the e.target.value like this. So as we are typing, it's going to set this input, and so the value is going to be stored in this input like we have. Okay, so that has been settled. So as we have the value, we go back and let's see how to progress from here. Once we have the value, then we can use that value. That value is going to stand for F, which is Fahrenheit, and then this will be implemented, and then we can have the value in Celsius. Okay, so so it means that we need another state to store the value in Celsius. So I think this one is going to change. So over here we are going to do a constant, then I'm going to call this Celsius. I'm going to go set Celsius. This is going to store the value of our Celsius. Then I'm going to remove this will be empty, and then instead put this here, and over here in Celsius, instead of input, I'll put Celsius here. Okay, yeah, so that the value, whenever the value changes, this one will also change. It won't be the value of input, but it should rather be the value for Celsius. Okay, so once we have that done, we need a function to be able to implement or do all this conversion for us. So we call this function constant handle. um, let's let me simply call it convert. It's simpler. So convert. Then for convert, what formula do we need? So I'll go back. We need this one. I'll simply copy this and we go back to our program. I'll just put this here just for the meantime, just to see what we have. And then I'll call so it means that when you hit the convert, we want to take the number. So uh, we call constant um yeah, 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 yes, yeah. So yeah, yeah, I'm just calling it I'm just using this same function. So instead of this f, I'm gonna put inputs there. Yes, just like this. There's nothing like this. So this one will be in a bracket. Okay. Then times 5 over 9. But this can result in a float or something we just want to have. Yeah, so I'll just apply math.floor on this. Okay, so that we have that value, so we can do away with this. Yeah, and then so when we have the operation, then we call set Celsius. Then we give set Celsius the value of operation like this. Okay, sorry. Then over here in my button, we have an on click function. This is the handler, and this will have the convert. Okay, so when we click on the button, then this function will run. It's going to take the input and then do the operations and then set the value for Celsius and get Celsius displayed here. Let's see if our logic pans out. So we'll go to our program, then we type a value. Yeah, let's say like 90. We hit, and then yeah, 90 is 32 degrees Celsius. So that our operation is working. The only thing is that we still have this being displayed. Let me just make sure that when we hit it, um, the set input value will disappear. So we just call set input again, and I put this here so that an empty string, so that when we type in a number, for example, um, let's say 89, hit convert. Yes, it converts and then everything disappears. So we have this working. Now that we have this operation working, we simply need to add the icons that we might need. So for the icons, let's install npm install react icons. So I'll just come here and then we install that. Okay, Okay, so I just went to this um install for um React. Let me open a new one. Okay, React icons. And for React icons, yeah, okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I should hit you up on your other suggestion. Maybe after the video, we can have another video on that. Yes. And yeah, yeah. I've not used materials before. I just maybe that might be better. Anyway, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so over here, the thing I'm trying to do now is I want all this is working, but I want this to I need these icons actually. So I need this sun. I also see over here that it says it's a change to snowflake when cold. So I think I actually need two icons. I need one icon to display when it's hot and one icon to display when it's cold. So let's just go and see what we can do about it. Let's go to React icons. We have um, let's first get snowflake. So you type snowflake. Snowflake is from font awesome. Okay, so we will use snowflake over here, and the next one we might have to use will be the sun, right? Okay, so the snowflake and the sun. So just a second. Okay, so I'll copy this fa snowflake, then we'll use snowflake here. So we'd say import, then we call this one snowflake. Am I right? No, I copied it. So fa snowflake, yes, from um, React icons slash fa, like this. So we have the snowflake, and we also need the sun. Okay, so sorry, I think I saw something called weather, and weather we have this one. That it's like a sun, but it's showing something is hot, so we can use that. Wi hot. Which one? Oh, okay. This one. Okay, Wi day sunny. Let's use that one. So yeah, that's an icon. Yeah. So that one will be from React um, icons slash WI, because we took that from the weather. So we have these two icons. We want to display these icons here after the Celsius. Uh, the the only issue is that we have to check for some conditions first, because it says that if the Fahrenheit is above 70, make the color of the conversion number red, otherwise make it green. To achieve this, I also think that we also need to make the color of the sun red as well. So we are going to add a condition. Sorry, can you repeat what you said? Yeah, ternary operators. Yes, yes. I think we can use ternary operators to do this. Okay. Or we use. Okay, so it says create the functionality of converting, and if the Fahrenheit is above 70, make the color of the conversion. So, what I want to do first is do conditional rendering for the snowflake and the hot. So to do conditional rendering for them, um, if if the Fahrenheit is above 70, so let us try to convert Fahrenheit from, so let's just use what we have, just a second. So if it's 70 and we say convert, so if we are going to use 21 to do our calculation, so 21, so here I'm just going to say, let me put this to a different line, and then we use this one, and then we say Celsius. Celsius, if Celsius is greater than 21, it means it is hot, right? So if Celsius is greater than 21, then we want um, WI day sunny. Yeah, so WI day sunny. We want this one to be displayed. But if Celsius is less than 21, then we want what's that one called? FA snowflake. FA snowflake to be displayed. Okay, let's check this one first and see how is that working for us. Uh, okay, so we have sunny showing. Let's see if when it's cool, like 17, we have the snowflake showing. So that is also working fine. And now the only thing we also want to do is to work on the color, so that this will, okay, but first we also have a little problem. It's not a problem, but I see that we actually need to display degree Celsius, isn't it? I just have C, so I need to get degrees from somewhere to be able to use degrees in our work. All right. So, oh, okay. So you said I should type degree social where? In- Okay, okay. Degree social, right? I think no. Should be degree social icon. Should it be an icon? Socials. So, okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one. So just this one, right? Oh, okay, okay, okay. I Oh, okay. It's, it's an ingenious way. Okay, wow. That's great. That's great. Let's see. Let's see how that is displayed. Wow, we have a degree Celsius. Okay. Okay. So the thing now we want to do is to work a bit on some styling for our degree Celsius. So over here, let me put degree Celsius in a span. Okay. Um, I'm putting this in a span because I want to apply some styling to it. I'll cut this, put this one here, and then over here, I'm going to call so we'll do inline styling, but I want to apply ternaries to the styling so that it will display this or that, and then put that variable here. So constant styles, then then constant styles will give us so we call color, it's the color we want to change, isn't it? So we say color, then if Celsius is greater than 21, the same thing we're doing. If Celsius is greater than 21, um, what is this one? Yes. If Celsius is greater than 21, then we like to display red. Else, we want it to display green. Okay. So I'll come down here in my span and I'll say style equals, then the style will give us styles. Okay, so I'll save this and let's see how everything is working now. Okay, so we have it being displayed in red now. Let's make it cold. Let's see, it's cold. It's also working fine now. Yeah, yeah, so let's see, let me check what I want to. I just want the snowflake to show. No, let it go higher. So 31. So when it's high, just I just want the sun to also display red. Okay. So um over here, that is sunny day, right? So sunny day will also have styles. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So because I don't want when it's cold, I just wanted to show that it is still um it is cold. You know, cold is not red like, so I just want I'll just keep this one as it is. So I think we're done with the functionalities for this one. We can just simply do some styling. What do you think? Can do the styling now. So so for the style, yeah, the styling might take time. So I think that is it for the functionality. We'll record the styling in our next video. Thanks for working on this with us, and I hope to see you in our next video. Right.